experience, according to Hotel News Now. I think that's a good omen for inns and B&Bs. So something to think about, that you still have the traveler wanting to experience local cuisine and attractions, and to check out where they are whenever they can. As you might imagine, location matters to business travelers. Location really matters over everything else when they book hotels. And 72% of business travelers are interested in the ability to view hotels on a map using their mobile device. Something to think about, and something we're going to talk a little bit more about there too. And as it would come as no surprise, they want to reap the rewards. 83% of travelers feel that they should be personally entitled to travel reward points when they're on business travel. So if they're going to put up with all of that travel, they want to be rewarded with some kind of a point or a perk. So what does all that mean, and what should B&Bs hoping to attract business travelers do? Probably the most important thing comes to your the most important thing matters when we refer to your website in terms of attracting business travelers. And as you know, your website is your most important selling tool. It's the first place they're going to come to find you. So how will they find you? You need to include some of the keywords that business travelers are going to use to search. If you're located in Springfield, Missouri, you might try Springfield, Missouri business hotel or something like that. Using keywords that you think that business travelers are going to be using to search for a place to stay is very, very important. And the other very, very important thing, as you can imagine, would be to create a responsive website that's readable and bookable on mobile phones, tablets, and computers, because as we know, they're looking for a convenient way to book their travel. And if they're not able to see your website and book it on their smartphone, on their mobile phone, then they're going to go on to the next hotel or inn or B&B that is easy to read and bookable on their phone. One of the things that inns and B&Bs do that are catering to business travelers are to create a special page that's easy to find on their website and caters to the business traveler. As you can see here, the Loganberry Inn, a beautiful inn, again in Missouri, has right here, right on their nav bar, you can easily find the section where business travel is addressed. And there they talk about where they're located, some of the amenities that they have for business travelers, and therefore some of the keywords that are also going to be search terms that business travelers will be using. Here's another example that I think does a good job of accentuating the amenities that business travelers are looking for. Corporate rates, very important. High-speed internet, phones with free local calls, rooms with work desks, breakfast. Interesting. Starbucks coffee. How much do you want to bet that is a keyword that business travelers may be using? They're going to want to be located near where they can get their Starbucks coffee. And also a fitness center or a relationship with a fitness center. What else do you need to do if you want to attract business travelers? You need to have a free and a strong Wi-Fi access. I think when BedandBreakfast.com last did some surveys, it was something like 98% of inns and B&Bs offer Wi-Fi service, but not all of them offered it free. So free and strong Wi-Fi service is important, along with plenty of plugs for charging devices. As I travel to inns and B&Bs, I'm seeing more of these kinds of charging stations for multiple devices. I thought that this one was really quite attractive. I mean, as attractive as they can get, and It looks kind of expensive, but it's only, I think it's under $30 to buy one of those for your rooms that would be attracting business travelers. You want to include an easy-to-find map that shows business travelers your convenient location. Here's the Walnut Street Inn. Here's the convention center. This shows them very clearly how close they are, the inn is, to where they're probably going to be holding their conference or meeting. Real important. I noticed that they've also put some restaurants in here and some of the coffee shops and things like that. So guests can not only see where the Walnut Street Inn is located, but they can also see how close it's going to be to the places that they're going to want to go while they're there. Not a lot of inns and B&Bs have loyalty programs, but why not develop one? The Allen Mansion has done a beautiful job here of creating not only just a business traveler rewards program, but a customer one. And they've created all sorts of different kinds of credits that can be used for the next trip. You book a deluxe getaway, that's a $5 room credit for your next stay. Liking or tweeting on Instagram and posting about their stay is another $5 credit. I liked how this works. I know there's a couple inns and B&Bs that offer loyalty programs, but not all that many. So that's an opportunity spot for those of you who want to attract more business travelers, more millennials, and more customers in general. You're going to want to message things like convenience, desks, amenities, and fabulous beds, because remember, business travelers are workaholics and they're going to want to be able to have comfortable beds. I liked how the Allen Mansion once again put things like gourmet coffee on their list, central refrigerator, in-room lap desks. This is something I'm seeing more and more of at business traveler-friendly B&Bs, in-room lap desks, so you can sit on your bed and have a little lap desk there to work on your computer on. Liked that. I like that they put free mail or package drop-off, multiple outlet power strip, free on-site copying and printing. These are all things that business travelers are going to be wanting. But you know what? I'm willing to bet that these are all things that a lot of you already have, even if you don't bill yourself as business traveler friendly. You probably have a lot of these things already in your rooms. You're going to want to offer corporate rates. Here again, this is the Walnut Street Inn. They offer corporate discounts for all single travelers Sunday through Thursday. I thought that was a really interesting thing, and this is something that I found on their business traveler page. You're also going to want to offer business-friendly accessories like flat screen TVs, desks, computers, and definitely a printer. And if you want to make the investment, iPads. I know more and more inns and B&Bs are offering their guests the use of an iPad. I know one inn, for example, the Bernerhoff Inn in Glen, New Hampshire, they've actually created their own app that goes on there, which is actually a guide to all the restaurants and attractions in the area. The local newspaper is downloaded on it every day. So these are, it's a nice amenity that guests can use. Printers, if you're going to be hosting business travelers, corporate travelers, and meetings, you're going to need printers there because people are going to want to be able to print their boarding pass. And if you don't have a printer or guest computer, just be willing to offer that service to your business travelers. This is an amenity that I learned about from the Loganberry Inn. They separate out the breakfast charge for business travelers who are traveling on per diem. As you might know, some people are offered $10, for example, for breakfast, $15 for lunch, $20 for dinner, and a certain amount only for accommodations. So if your room charge is $150, let's say, and it includes breakfast, what you might do is give them two receipts, one receipt for a $10 breakfast and the other for a $140 stay. Obviously, they're not paying any less, but from their accounting point of view and from their accounting department's point of view, this will satisfy their need to be able to expense that breakfast. And offering an early breakfast or inviting colleagues to breakfast is something that a lot of the business traveler friendly inns and B&Bs do. Amy Smith at the Saratoga Arms, for example, in Saratoga, New York, told us that we offer business travelers the invitation to bring a guest to breakfast. If they are here for a business meeting, that breakfast begins the meetings. Many college guests are here for a job interview, and that breakfast meeting is the beginning of the interview. And she says, of course, that their local businesses love it and therefore are much more likely to send their business travelers and their guests to stay at the Saratoga Arms. Some inns and B&Bs charge for a colleague to come, and I don't think that that's a problem as long as you accommodate them for their breakfast, for the breakfast meeting, and give that business traveler the opportunity to hold their breakfast meeting there at the inn or B&B when they stay with you. Now, this is something I read a couple times, to ditch the doilies. Now, that does not mean that you have to be a modern, urban, chic boutique hotel in order to attract business travelers. These are all inns and B&Bs that I've noted here. And it doesn't mean that you can't be historic in nature. What it means is that you want an uncluttered look. You want something that'll offer not necessarily modern, but a clean and uncluttered look. You want to be flexible with your cancellation policy. A lot of times, and I know that's difficult for innkeepers, but a lot of times business travelers have to change plans at the last minute. So think about being flexible with your cancellation policy. And does your photography appeal to a business traveler? These are both pictures of inns and B&Bs that say they want to be business traveler friendly, but as you can see, this is much more of a cluttered look in this one than the clean and fresh look that you would find here. So make sure that your photography tells your story as well as your words tell your story, that you are business traveler friendly. If you want to attract more business travelers, you can call upon local businesses, hospitals, schools, churches, and ask to become one of their preferred lodging properties. I went to Middlebury College in Vermont, and here are 3 great inns that are right there, located on their website as preferred lodging properties in Middlebury. So Swift House Inn, Middlebury Inn, and the Inn on the Green are going to be going to get a lot more business from the college than those that are not on this list. And it's a matter of just meeting with the college or the hospital or the whatever business it is and talking to them, and perhaps offering a corporate rate, and just make sure that you are in good standing with that business. So now we're going to shift a little bit to the meetings aspect of business travel. And I thought it was interesting to learn that the Small Business Development Center network reports that 42% of B&Bs now have conference room, which is a big increase from 2000 when only 28% had meeting space. That tells me that more than 4 in 10 B&Bs are offering meeting space to businesses in the area. That's pretty good. That's a lot of inns and B&Bs that are catering to meetings. Of course, if you have meeting space, you want to promote your meeting space, again, with a page that's designed to do that. So let's look at a case study here from the Saratoga Arms that does a lot of meetings and retreat business. Saratoga Arms, located in Saratoga Springs. You notice that they have a business and meetings and retreats button right on their navs, their primary nav bar for their main website. Here, if you click on this meetings and retreats, you come to a page where you can download an executive meeting brochure. They They call out right from the beginning to meeting planners and link to their meeting facilities page. And right here, you can request more information. If you continue to scroll down on their meetings page, you see there's a quote from the Saratoga Business Journal, which just gives them a little bit more credibility. And they use all kinds of different words that would be good search terms for meeting planners. And again, here you can fill out and submit an RFP, a request for a proposal, so that they can bid on hosting that meeting too. They make it very easy right from their website to be able to do that. Again, this is more of their page that talks about small meetings in Saratoga. And most importantly, I found it very interesting that they, in addition to their regular website, the Saratoga Arms developed a second website that's dedicated just to meetings. So as you can see, you can click on the meeting space, there's services, you can request a proposal from there, there's a photo gallery. This is a separate website, completely different. It's called SaratogaNewYorkMeetings.com, which is going to help them to be found among meeting planners and really be able to focus very heavily on selling that meeting business. If you click on the photo gallery, I loved how they set this up. Each one of these pictures, if you click on those from their photo gallery page, gets much bigger. But this also does a wonderful job of promoting all the benefits that they have to holding their meeting here. 31 guest rooms, meetings facility for any industry, conference style seating for 30, breakfast buffets in the heart of downtown. These are all key points, key selling messages with pictures that go along with them. Very, very good job that they did on this. I loved it. So here are some ideas from Amy Smith, who one of the owners and managers of the Saratoga Arms. These are all things that they do to attract more meeting business. They belong to their local convention and tourism bureau and attend monthly sales meetings. They also belong to the Empire State Society of Association Executives and Meeting Professionals International. Those are all meeting planner organizations so that they can kind of network with those folks. They determine which corporations and businesses in their town bring people to the area, and they offer them a corporate rate. As simple as that. Offer them a corporate rate, become one of their preferred lodging properties. That includes the local college, Skidmore College, that's located in Saratoga Springs, different marketing agencies, their performing arts center, manufacturing plants, and other small businesses that might send them some meeting business or business travelers. And they're also lucky enough to have their conference center half a block away, which is amazing. But what they do to take advantage of that is really, exceptional. They normally take a look at the convention calendar and try and fill in their light occupied days with overflow guests from the citywide conferences. They call the contact for the group and introduce themselves and offer a group rate to them. Very, very smart. Very, what better a way to introduce your Inn or B&B than to offer a corporate rate and to introduce yourself with that personalized approach. Love it. And so, just as you might expect, look what the guests are saying. This one guest, I love this review. They said they traveled to Saratoga for business once a year and in the past found lodging at one of the big name hotels, but they made the change to Saratoga Arms and were very pleased with the wonderful accommodations, nicely appointed with gas fireplaces, the spot on service, and delicious breakfast. And they love the open pantry with beverages and snacks, the great front porch, and the fact that the owner operator is on site. These are all things that most inns and B&Bs offer, I imagine. So think about that as something that you can offer too, and that appeals to that business traveler. And one more thing I'll note is that Amy told me that the open pantry with the beverages and snacks is a really big attraction and amenity that the business travelers just love. So here's a second case study that we have from the Walnut Street Inn, which you've heard me mention a couple times again. See, as you can see, once again, those business guests have their own special page right on the main nav bar. So it's easy to find information if you're a business traveler looking for a place to stay in Springfield, Missouri. If you scroll down on their business guest page, you find these room rates, corporate room rates or business room rates, special rates for their business travelers, room by room. So it's really easy to figure out what the cost of each one of these rooms is going to be. And as you can see, these are very attractive corporate rates. They are active on social media, which helps them, again, with business travelers. They use a number of key hashtags, and they mention their corporate partners. As you can see, here's a group of business women that were staying with them, and what do? They they posted a picture of them right on their Facebook page and offered a big shout out to them. Great idea. And to other business travelers get to then see, wow, I can hold a lovely breakfast meeting at this inn or travel with my colleagues. So here's what their corporate guests say about them. And again, what I love is that they put this right on their guest traveler website so they can see, so guests, business travelers who are coming to Springfield can see that other business travelers and corporate guests love them. We are welcomed at this bed and breakfast. Couldn't have asked for anything better. Neither of us had stayed at a bed and breakfast prior to this, and I think this has set our expectations high. Everything was perfect here. David was sent here on a business trip, and I came along for the ride. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a bit. Things like what a rare find, great accommodations for a business traveler. I love the room and will return with my husband to enjoy this treasure together. These are great. This is a great way to attract other corporate and business travelers, for them to see these great reviews right on the business page of the website is going to be a great, an independent review will be a great selling point for them. So here's some advice from Gary, the innkeeper at the Walnut Street Inn. He says, spend as much time as possible keeping your website listings, like at BedandBreakfast.com, the OTAs and online presence through social media current and active. The more active they are, the more hits you'll get. And to take advantage of all offers for additional pictures, posting of calendar events, weekend specials, anything like that that will make your listing more visible and unique. You can ask those places like the Chamber of Commerce. They will share how to maximize your listing and what you're not doing. This is important to do, and for everybody, whether you're looking for business travelers or more leisure travelers. Just to maximize your listings is really key. So we're going to move on to the bleisure traveler. This is a new opportunity for all innkeepers. A bleisure traveler is a term used to define professionals who are shunning the all work and no fun grind of business trips and mixing them with vacation time. That line between leisure and business travel is becoming blurred, and business travelers are really increasingly seeking leisure experiences, as you'll see as we talk about this a little bit more. Not only are they trying to experience the local cuisine and the local scene when they come with what little time they have, but they're also trying to extend their stay, and just in order to be able to kind of mix a little vacation time in with their business trip. So two quotes that I thought were really, really interesting. The hotel industry is really taking note of this bleisure travel change and the fact that it's booming. And they're trying to provide more activities and tours for visiting employees looking for a story to take home. Leisure days tend to outnumber business days on the average business trip. That's amazing. Leisure days tend to outnumber business days on the average business trip. And in a time when more and more of us are traveling for work, that realization is amazing. 60% of travelers report having taken what they call a leisure trip, with 30% adding at least 2 additional days to their trip. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Those that have done so say it helps them to work more effectively, takes the stress out of the business, and have the added benefit of quality time with a significant other, increasing the amount of time that road warriors can spend with their family. Love this idea. Think about it. That means they stay extra days with you when they come for business. Fewer vacations mean more leisure trips. 43% of trips today are considered leisure. That is almost 1 in 2. 1 in 2 trips combine business and leisure travel together. Pretty amazing. And leisure travelers spend more. 66% of leisure travelers spend more on leisure because of saving on their travel. If they can combine business and travel, they can write off the airfare or expense the airfare, for example, and therefore spend some extra days enjoying time at a lovely inn or B&B. So let's think about some ways to attract that leisure traveler. You're going to want to develop activities, tours, itineraries, things like that to help travelers and those traveling with them to explore the aspects of your region. Perhaps develop a guide to some of the unique landmarks, and definitely a guide to some of the great dining opportunities in your area. And you're going to want to be able to make reservations, which you do, I'm sure, already for your guests, for evening events and things that will accommodate that business traveler during the day. And remember, that business traveler may be going to meetings and leaving a spouse at home who's going to want to know what to do. So developing these printed and specialized tours, themed itineraries for the region is something that's going to really attract that business and leisure traveler, or the business traveler who's also going to combine some leisure time. So why do business travelers choose B&Bs? Well, as we know, B&Bs offer the perfect accommodation for both business and leisure travelers, including that personal hospitality that you get from an innkeeper who's on site, and the more comfortable setting that you have. And when they bring a spouse, obviously they can combine business and pleasure, and what better way to do that than to stay in an inn or B&B? And as we've heard over and over again, the buzzword, I guess, for today is, experiential travel. People want to experience where they're staying. They want to see what it's like. If they're coming to a city, they want to see what it's like to live in the city and appreciate the lodging that captures the aesthetic of that city. So are you communicating those signature selling points to your business and leisure travelers? Are you saying what makes it special and what kinds of things that people can do, both the convenience that you can offer a business traveler and the wonderful things that they can do when they combine some leisure time with you? Bottom line, and the key message for everybody here, is that B&Bs are the perfect option for business travelers who are tired of that same cookie cutter hotel and those buffet, toaster waffle buffet options. And so by using that kind of language and that kind of selling point, you and using it in blogs and on your website, and creating a kind of business traveler language that people search for, adding all those things to your marketing is going to help you attract those business travelers and the leisure travelers too. So that's it from me on business and leisure travel, and I'm happy to take some questions. I thank very much Gary and Amy, Gary from the Walnut Street Inn and Amy from the Saratoga Arms, for sharing their advice with us and some of their great photos and website pages. So feel free to throw out any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Marty. That was excellent. Lots of good examples of things to do. One question that just popped in is from Judy, I think. Excuse me, it's hard to read. Oh, sorry, Sally. She's asking if the presentation will be available, and the answer is yes. We recorded the presentation, and we'll be placing it online, and you should get an email about it as well. So look out for that. Again, if you have any questions at all, feel free to fill out the questions box, and we'll be monitoring them for the next couple minutes.
And even if you have questions about leisure travelers or other things that we didn't cover today in this webinar, feel free to send them over.
Yes. And just a note, while we're waiting for questions to come in, we have scheduled webinars with Marty through October, so feel free to register for those at any time. The next one will be on August 30th, and it's on cooperative marketing, so finding other partners to help sell your rooms. And then we have one on September 26th, which is all about kind of how to put your best PR foot forward for the fall. So looking forward to that. And then October 25th, we have one on holiday marketing ideas. So if you want to register for any of those, keep a lookout. We'll be sending individual emails for all of them, but then also you can visit our upcoming events page at any time. So basically, if you go to BedandBreakfast.com, the Innkeeper Resources page, there's an upcoming events link there, and then it'll have all the webinars and the link to register. We have a question, Marty, from Treva. They're asking, how would you better cater to women business leisure travelers? So I guess specifically any ideas you have for targeting women that are in the business travel industry as well.
Good question. That's a great one. Well, one thing that I think inns and B&Bs offer that hotels don't is that sense of security, the fact that if you don't show up at breakfast the next morning, you will be missed, and that personalized approach. Women love staying at inns and B&Bs. They love the pampering and the hospitality of it. So using kind of talking about that and using language that describes the kind of personalized approach, the safe environment that you offer for women travelers, especially those traveling alone, is one thing that I would suggest. Two, I would make sure that you have a business traveler page, and on that page there needs to be pictures of not just men but women too. So because we forget about that, but if people go to your page and see pictures of women business travelers at your inn, that picture's going to say tell 1,000 words. So that's another thing. Three, there are a lot of women-owned businesses and businesses that might attract women to them, like spas and things like that. Go talk to them. Become one of their preferred lodging properties. If there's a women's conference that's coming to town, and all towns sponsor these, or any kind of events that are geared toward women, talk to them. Offer them a special rate for those people attending those conferences, and become their preferred lodging property so that you can partner with them. Those are three things that I could think of that would really kind of be a way to reach out to women.
Awesome. Well, it looks like no other questions have rolled in. If you have any additional questions after the webinar, feel free to reach out to Marty. Her information is on the screen here. And then if you have any ideas for future webinar topics or anything like that, or even, so our next webinar is on cooperative marketing. If you are a whiz at cooperative marketing and have lots of examples of things that you've done to partner with other organizations in your area or nationally. Would love to hear some examples from you, so feel free to reach out to Marty with any of those types of content. And then, yeah, like we said, we're always open to new ideas or suggestions for future webinars. We want these to be helpful for you guys, so if there's anything we're missing, please feel free to reach out. But with that said, thank you for joining us today. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, everyone, and we look forward to the next one. And thank you, Marty, for another
Oh, it was
great
fun.
presentation.
Good. Have a
Awesome.
good August. We'll talk to you at the end of August, we hope.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.